Don't worry, Lois, there's a dog turd in there.
Hello and welcome back. Recovery day today, so we've got a recovery run. I've got Jilly with me. Say hello, Jilly.
Hi.
We've got the dog, so even he's coming training today. But first we've got to go to the shop because we need to get some money because we're off for breakfast at a place called Cozy Coffee, which is about 5 miles away, which is a pretty good distance for a little run, jog, recovery run. And it's handy because the dog's a little bit unfit, so he'll probably want to walk for most of this 5 miles. So yeah, there's a couple of things to talk about, and we'll get straight into a few of them. We've got an update about the chemo, and we'll go over some of the training that we've done so far this week. Oh, lost them over the road. So yeah, we'll see you in the run. There we go. Step one. $1 required.
I like money.
So I suppose the first update we can give is we had our meeting with the oncologist yesterday. We actually got a new guy who's a specialist neuro-oncologist called Dr. Sinclair, and he's going to be sort of looking after the treatment for me going forward. We had a chat with him yesterday, and they've decided that we're going to have, just cross this road. It's all coming. And we've decided that he's going to give me the temozolomide again at the same dose, which basically it's the maximum dose we're allowed to give somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I'll be able to tell you in the future when I start getting the boxes. And we're going to start that on Tuesday morning. So from there we'll be able to start seeing how it's going to affect our training and stuff. But basically what he said was, from the post-surgery scans, there's a couple of small, tiny little areas around the surgery site which they actually think is to do with the surgery and not tumour. And basically what he's going to do, what he said was, he's pretty confident that even in worst case that all those little areas are part of tumour, that the temozolomide should sort them out. So really, as far as meetings go, it went as good as it can go. So yeah, so following on from that, probably from the back end of next week, once the side effects start kicking in, I'll start being able to give a bit of feedback of how the temozolomide's affecting us at the dose that I'm going to be on. Obviously in the long term of the channel, that's quite specific to me, but it's also quite specific to the drug, and it's quite a common drug to be used for two quite serious types of brain tumour, and one of them's glioblastoma multiforme, and the other's what I've got, which is what's called anaplastic astrocytoma. I want the training side of things, but well, firstly the doctor basically said, I asked him about the training, and his opinion was do absolutely as much as you can without injuring yourself. And obviously if your cardio system's more efficient, if you do start suffering from anemia because of the drugs, you're less likely to feel the effect as much. But to be honest, if your blood counts drop low enough anyway, they would stop the treatment. Jake, this way, come on. Jake, this way, good lad. So yeah, if your blood counts drop low enough anyway, they would stop the treatment for you to recover, or perhaps adjust the dose. But hopefully we can stay on the max dose like we did last time. So as far as actual training updates go, I've been doing quite a lot. First, probably most recent one was last night. We did the first run meeting with the Tri Club, which worked in nicely with the Lionel Sanders 5k. What we did was, I think my session was 5 times 800 metre loops, but they weren't at the track, they were cross-country ones. So there was a lot of sort of like off-camber running. There was a big hill we had to get up at the end. And I went round. The first 2 were pretty much where I wanted to be. They were like 6.5 minute mile pace. And the other 3 were at my marathon race pace. just under 7 minutes a mile, sort of 6 minutes 50 a mile. So given how difficult the loop was in comparison to what we normally do, I was quite happy with the results actually. I'd only set out to do 4 loops. I ended up doing 5, and I woke up this morning, actually I was expecting my legs to feel absolutely horrific, and they actually felt pretty good. So doing this recovery run this morning, which was going to work out about 5 miles down at the cafe, and then we're getting a lift back, is going to be really nice. And sort of, well, I don't know how far we're in there now, probably about 1.5 miles in, 2 miles, and the legs feel great. So yeah, should be pretty good. So the next part is cycling. Now the cycling front, I'm still working pretty hard to get sort of my average power up. I've been doing that by working through the Zwift Tri Academy workouts on Zwift, obviously. So I did the FTP builder on Friday last week, and then I did the half distance power builder on Tuesday or Monday. I'll check my training log, I'll drop it below, but if you want to follow me on Strava and see what's going on, there's a link in the description about my Strava profile. There's one in the banner on the page. So yeah, and then swimming I've been doing a few. I think I've done 3 or 4 pool swims now, and since I've started getting the technique down a bit, it's actually becoming a hell of a lot easier. I did just shy of a mile in the pool yesterday morning, first thing, pretty much on an empty stomach as well, so just really the carbs and that added my muscles from the day before fueling it. And yeah, really for me I think the key is just getting a good rhythm. Once you get a good rhythm and you can get your breathing nice and steady, I'm not really finding it that difficult. Pace isn't great, but I was around about 2 minutes per 100 yards, which I think is pretty fair for a beginner. So yeah, so I'm going to work on, at the moment I'm doing about 200 metre intervals. I'm going to work on trying to stretch them out to 400s, and then if I can go down and do maybe 4x400s in the 45-minute session we've got, that'll probably, I think that'll be quite a good one. Once I can do them quite comfortably, we'll start working on the strength to hopefully speed them up a bit and really get that technique down, because there's probably still a lot I can learn from my catch and my kick. So at the moment it's going really well and I'm feeling really comfortable in the water, and the biggest tip I can give to people if the swim is what's putting them off triathlon is get in the water. The more you're in the water and the longer you're in the water and the more time you spend swimming, the easier it becomes, even without any lessons. So check out a couple of videos. Places like GCN are a really good resource. I mean, Heather Fell, who's one of the presenters on there, she's like, I'm pretty sure she was a long distance swimmer, like nearly on the Olympic squad, so she knows what she's talking about when it comes to swimming. I think Mark was he was an open water swimmer as well before he got into triathlon, so their swimming tips are really good. And if you can get it, it's basically the basic advice of what you need to be doing off them, go down and practice them, practice a few drills, and then once your instruction like opens up again in a couple of weeks, you'll be able you'll have a little bit of a baseline. So yeah, swim wise, more time in the water is just going to help you. So there's the golf course on the town at the Oakleaf. This is where the Tri Club had the run session last night, and this is the hill that we had to come up at the bottom end. So we used to come down there, around that telegraph pole at the bottom, and then up that grassy hill there. And trying to keep a pace up that hill was pretty brutal because there's little ruts and potholes all over it, but it was good work for the legs. And here we are, back at the track, 2.5 mile mark. Somebody out doing a bit of training. So yeah, so it's pretty steady at the moment. I mean, to be honest, this is more like a jog walk. Can't sit that way, can't drag the dog too hard, so but it's going to be nice to loosen the legs up, get a few extra miles in the legs. couple of little repeats on the hill as we came around. Just waiting for Jill to bring the dog up. Get the heart rate up a little bit. Actually, while we're going, if you're new to this channel, if you found the channel basically because you're in a similar situation to myself, you've had a cancer diagnosis and you're looking to try and improve your fitness or stay fit through your treatment, I can actually recommend doing runs like this. They're very low intensity. Basically, we've picked a cafe at the end of it that we wanted to go and try out. We brought the dog along with us. Busy road. Brought the dog along with us, which kind of controls the pace. My wife's quite new to running, so we're using it as a bit of an easy mile builder for her. And for me, it's just a nice easy jog, walk, recovery with the wife and the dog. But these are perfect types of runs when you're new. So even if you are going through chemo and it's giving you a bit of a kick in, something very easy like this would probably help you out quite a lot. If you're new to running, these sort of runs are a nice way to sort of build your mileage up nice and gently, because that's when you're new to running, building your mileage up gently is quite important. It's the biggest factor to stop you from getting injured, really. So and we've got a nice incentive at the end. There's a nice little cafe where we can have a drink and a piece of cake or something like that. So yeah, I mean, definitely if you can find somewhere nice nearby and just make a little bit of a morning of it, nice little jog, walk. If you don't feel up to jogging, just walk it. I mean, all sorts of gentle cardio activity all helps with chemo. It helped me massively the first time round. I'm hoping it's going to do the same again, so yeah, it's a good recommendation, I think, if you're very new to running. Well, we've got about a mile to go now until treat. The wee man is looking fit. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, what's it? I think he's about due a drink, so this cafe's going to come up quite nicely. And till you're settled in your stride now, aren't you? Feeling a bit better. There's
yeah, better than it was. This is still like Oakleaf, and this isn't easy run, this is like torture.
Well, we came up the road that we normally do through School Oakleaf, where it's a few percent incline for a couple of miles probably, and it's nothing really particularly difficult, but it just adds up. So when you're not used to doing it, you're only used to running on the flat, you try to go at your normal pace and you end up knackered.
It's hard to run uphill for a long time when you're not used to it.
Builds good strength in your legs though.
Especially when my back's playing up against it.
So we're just about to come up to the last little hurdle before we get to the cafe, or at least before it's downhill all the way to the cafe. And this is the bank up to Wade's Quarry. Sort of goes snakes around that corner. We're not going to go all the way to the top of it today because the top of it's further on down the road and we're going to turn off before that. But it's a good one for the bike because it's quite steep. So Jill's going to walk up with the dog because the poor dog's starting to struggle now. We're about 7 miles in, so it's further than he normally goes, but we're going to jog up it. Why not? Yeah, we're on the top of the steep bit there, entrance to the quarry. Jill fighting the dog, and the bank extends all the way up there. So after you make it up the steep bit, you get a bit of burning your legs on the bike. You still got that drag to do, so it's quite a good one to train on. Apart from the surface is a bit loose at the bottom, but other than that, it's pretty nice.
Are we here?
Yeah, this is it.
Hooray!
Happy?
Yeah.
So it's a bit further than we thought, 7 and a bit mile. So, but
Thanks to one of Craig's great detours.
yeah,
A few times.
yeah, I always underestimate the detours, but here we are. What kills it? This is sick. Right. Right, well, just a quick outro. As like an utter moron, I forgot to film the outro at Cozy Coffee, unfortunately. But yeah, really, the cafe was class. I mean, you see at the end of the video, it was it's like an old converted bus, and the food smelled amazing. We had a couple of cakes. I had a piece of Victoria sponge and things like that, and just a coffee when I got there. And coffee was top drawer, like, and the cake was absolutely really nice. Like, so, I mean, I'm not massively sweet toothed or anything like that, but yeah, it was nice. Like, it's quite a cool place to stop. They were really dog friendly if you ever walking your dog around there. It was very popular with cyclists. There was actually some cracking bikes turned up as well, which give you a little bit of gear envy going forward. Hopefully, as you can see here, we've got the wetsuit hanging up. At the moment, I've got a sort of provisional plan of trying that out on Saturday down at Ellerton Lake. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get there, and it'll be weather dependent. I need somebody essentially to keep an eye on me while I'm going to be in there. So I'm in the process at the moment of trying to find someone who can come with me. The rest of the week, obviously, we've got probably a longer tempo run, I think, on Sunday rather than just a long zone 2 run. Might change plans slightly between now and then, but and then we've got a sort of longish bike ride to do. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably do the longer zone 2 stuff on the bike on Saturday afternoon after the swim, and then we'll do the run on the Sunday and turn that into sort of like maybe like a 12k or 15k tempo run. Hoping to do maybe the virtual North Run in a few weeks, so that'll prepare pretty nicely for that. So yeah, I'll leave it there. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on the channel today, just please consider subscribing below and following along. Consider giving the video a thumbs up. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps us get seen by more people. And yeah, have a great week, and hope this info helps you hit whatever training goals you've got. See you next time.